let's talk about Burn Burn.
It'll change your life.
Right after talking heavy about it.
So here's first Our Lady Peace album in 4 years, and part of the reason it's been 4 years is because, well, everybody's been doing their own thing, and also because you built yourself a studio at the house.
Yeah.
Talk about the studio.
It's just, it's a very comfortable environment to be creative in. You know, the control room's it's huge, and it feels like an old living room, and it's, you know, we've worked in so many different studios with great producers, and, you know, those were like a luxury, but this is kind of the antithesis of that. This is like where you just feel so comfortable that music kind of pours out of you. That sounds weird to say, but it really feels like that. It's my favorite room that I've ever been in my life. And I spend so much time in there, even if I'm not playing music. I wake up in the morning and I go there. You know, so it's just a really special place. And I made my solo record there, and then had such a great time doing that when these guys came down, we started kind of doing demos, just transcending into a record, because it was just it was as easy as it was when I was doing my solo record, making the New Our Lady Peace.
And as you can imagine, it's when you're in a studio, obviously there's always the creativity isn't for anybody, I don't think, is flowing 24 hours a day. So let's say you get to a normal studio, everyone shows up at 1 and goes till whenever you can. Let's say a lot of days around 4 o'clock, you're hitting a wall and something's not happening. But you know, you're spending all this money being in a studio. We're all living at his house, you know, in his studio. If all of a sudden 4 o'clock
Not paying for
around,
anything either, by the way.
Well,
Food or anything.
we bought a couple grocery trips. Come on, it was a couple.
Couple Trader Joe's.
A couple Trader Joe's. But you know, all of a sudden, if one day it's 4 o'clock and you're hitting a wall, then
Go to the beach.
go piss off and go do something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you far from the beach?
No, close to the beach. Yeah, I think the freedom of like not having the clock, or even, I mean, to a large extent, like just having the four of us, not having a producer, like getting back to where you're trusting your instincts. It felt like the early days before we even had a record deal. When you're sitting in, we used to rehearse in this warehouse in Mississauga, and yeah, you didn't know what you were. The naive quality of that is a really pure place to be, and this was the closest we've been back to that since.
So you've had a whole bunch of records where you had somebody, a third party, an objective third party, on the other side of the glass who would say, no, go back and do it again, or no, you can do better, or no.
Or try this direction.
Ah. Now, was that freeing, or have you guys learned enough, having taken direction from a third-party producer, to be able to have the discipline to do a record on your own?
I think so. I think we were smart about it in the sense that we didn't try to do it all at once. We did it in little spurts. So, you know, we'd kind of get together for a week, record 3 or 4 songs, finished, and then leave them. And everyone would leave, and no one would take copies. So when we got back together the next, 6 weeks later...
You wouldn't let anybody take copies home?
No, because I thought that was the only way that we would actually have perspective.
That's the way we could, one way we could kind of self-produce ourselves. And because a lot of times that's what a producer is, right? An outside opinion that isn't invested in and so tied into the music.
Yeah, Tagger would be playing it for all his friends and listening to it in his car, and you either start to hate the song or you just think it's great. You don't have any objectivity. So that was the kind of the rule, and it worked because everyone would come back, and we'd go right to the studio, put up the songs that we recorded 6 weeks ago. Automatically, you knew, or you'd see everyone's face like, yeah, not so great. Or that one goes in the good pile. Okay,
there are 10 songs in the album. Can you give me an example of a song from the record where you came back and you went, yeah, we got it right first time, or yeah, this is going to be a keeper?
Signs of Life.
Yeah, I'd say at least 7 of those 10 songs were kind of it. The whole thing about what we tried to do was keep that energy really fresh. Like, basically write a song in the morning, arrange it in the afternoon, have dinner, and cut it that night. And that was kind of the MO for the whole record, so we weren't so precious about things, not trying to overproduce, not trying to overthink. And, it's really cliche, but trying to capture that energy again where it's just live and it's really vital. And so everything on the record has that. And I think the biggest thing about this record, or the biggest kind of overwhelming, I don't know how to describe it. Every other record we've made, there's at least 2 or 3, some more, unfortunately. But there's songs that I will never sing live, we will never play. I don't want to talk about, you know. This song doesn't have that. We literally can stand behind every song. Where there was just never circumstance where we were forced to compromise. This is all uncompromised material.